My girlfriend has no friends and is using me as an emotional crutch, and it's driving me nuts. I started dating my coworker. She's a very sweet girl and is a shy, quiet type. She has openly told me, on several occasions, that she does not have any friends and struggles making friends, and self-diagnoses herself as on the spectrum. Because of her lack of friends, she is heavily reliant on me for emotional support to the point where I believe it's unhealthy for the both of us. She constantly needs reassurance, positive feedback, asks to follow me out even when I go to do the most mundane things such as grocery shopping or to a car body shop, and in general is reliant on me for the majority of her social interaction. She also uses me as an outlet to vent. Constant phone calls deep in the night that are an hour plus long, talking about how she got in a fight with her dad or how she hates the fact that she has no friends and how she feels misunderstood by most people. Just using me as an emotional punching bag. I understand this all makes me sound like a massive asshole and uncaring, but please understand that's not how I'm trying to come off. I would love to play the role of trusted confidant to an extent, but when you become someone's sole emotional outlet, it really wears on you. Obviously I cannot verbalize any of this to her as I'm pretty sure it would hurt really bad. I come off as an asshole to myself reading this. I'm sure it would be 10x worse to her. You're a human being who has their own shit to deal with, who is now dealing with two people's shit. You're not an asshole. Talk to them about it and say it's causing strain on you. Maybe you can work with her to help her make friends. Get her involved with a hobby and try making friends through that. She may need a therapist. Ask her if she ever considers counseling. Also, encourage her to pursue her hobbies, i.e. if she likes knitting, there's always a local club that has men, women knitting. Tell her to go to meetup, or whatever. Connecting with someone is always hard, but it's not impossible. She can do it, she just needs to start making steps and not be afraid of rejection, as not everyone is compatible to be her friends. If she's into gaming, you could have her join my Discord and I'll play games with her. I'm on PC. I'm the only girl in the group and wouldn't mind having another one to talk to lol. You don't sound like an asshole. Clearly you care for her and her well-being. But, you're right. It is unhealthy for one person to take on all of the burdens of their partner. Has she sought therapy? You should talk to her about it. If you're feeling strained by all of this, which you have every right to because this is very codependent behavior, then it'll get worse over time. It's always important to place boundaries where you need them. If you don't want to talk to her about this, I'm not sure what you want to do. But what's wrong with her wanting to go grocery shopping with you, haha? Could both of you simply not be compatible? My partner doesn't mind listening to me all day. Granted, I have other friends and activities apart from him. But even when I am with friends, we are texting and sharing as things are going. We've been together for 10 years and are not sick of talking to each other all day non-stop. Yes, it includes rants. That's always been our regular relationship even before being a couple. I don't think you can change her. It's either accept her as she is or find a person who has a social life. I always believe that clingy folks should date fellow clingy folks, and then it's a happy relationship as both love it this way. And folks that need space should date folks who need space. Codependency. My in-laws want me to let them use my and my late wife's frozen embryos to make grandkids. My wife died unexpectedly in August. We had been doing IVF, and the first round wasn't successful, so we were going to try again soon with frozen embryos we had stored from the first attempt. Her parents have been paying for the storage of the embryos for us, but they're legally the property of my wife and I, and now just me since she passed. Her parents are going to be charged again soon for continuing to store the embryos, so I let them know I'm about to cancel it so they won't be charged, since I'm not going to use them. They told me they don't want me to cancel the storage, they want me to keep having them stored, which they'll pay for, because they want to hire surrogates to carry grandchildren for them. My wife was their only kid and they're really set on being grandparents. Apparently they've already talked to a lawyer to make sure it can legally be done and that I won't be responsible for the babies if I don't want to be. It weirds me out that they talked to a lawyer before even asking me if it was okay, but anyway. I told them I'm not okay with it. They want me to wait to make a decision because we're all still grieving and aren't in the best mindset to make decisions. But I'm worried if I wait and let them pay for another 6 months of storage, they'll use the fact they paid for the extra time as more reason why I should let them use the embryos anyway. I can't imagine ever being okay with it, and I don't think my wife would be either, though her parents disagree. I want to just cancel it now, but I feel bad that I'd be taking away their only shot at grandkids while their grief is still fresh. I'd also feel bad letting them pay for an extra 6 months and giving them hope I'll change my mind when I know I won't. ETA. I thought about it more and I can't get over how insane their idea is. I'm having the embryos destroyed. I don't think they can sue for rights to use them, but I don't want to take the chance. Embryo storage is not terribly expensive. We pay $35 per month. Just take over the bill so they don't have anything to hold over you. I told them I'm not okay with it. Is this not enough of an answer to them? Call the clinic to have them put a note in the file about the situation. You want to make sure they don't try to move the embryos without your permission or try other shenanigans with a forged signature or something. Let them pay for another 6 months. It's not expensive and it'll give you time to grieve and deal with other priorities before making a decision regarding whether to destroy the embryos, donate them or keep them for yourself to use eventually. Obviously, letting her parents use them is absurd and would produce a totally messed up child, so that's a no. I doubt any clinic would approve such a plan even with your consent. Obviously it's entirely your choice, however it's generally recommended after a major traumatic event like this one that people don't make big decisions for at least 1 year. Having the embryos destroyed is a major decision. You could consider talking it over with a therapist before you do something that can't be undone. I'm sorry for your loss of your wife. I do have to say I agree with them partially that you all should wait to decide until you're of clear minds. They're mourning and trying to essentially create a surrogate daughter via your embryos. You also haven't fully digested the situation, I'm assuming here, and may regret it later on if you destroy them. It isn't hurting anyone to wait, but don't feel pressured if 6 months down the road they still want to try again. Tell them waiting is the only option for everyone involved, but no decisions will be made within a year. This gives everyone time and space for a while from the topic. You may also want to consult a lawyer yourself as well as speak to a therapist about all of this. Jesus Christ, I can't believe so many people are telling you to wait till you're thinking clearly, etc. This is not only your wife's DNA but yours, and you know your answer is no. You shouldn't have to wait and think. Why would you want your ex-in-laws to use your DNA to create children via surrogates and raise them? Why would they think it's okay to talk to a lawyer without even talking to you at all? 50 shades of fucked up going on here. I'd cancel and be done with it. Legally they can't use your embryos. Grandparents can say they talk to a lawyer all they want, but in the end they don't have parental rights. If you say no, they can't do it. Source. My husband's former in-laws are nuts. Used to threaten us all the time about their grandkid. They have no rights. Talk to an attorney and a therapist before you make your final decision. This is probably the biggest decision you'll ever make in your life. You might want the embryos yourself one day. I thanked my mentor and told him I'd get out of his hair. Except he's bald. Lol. So as the title suggests, I have a mentor who happens to be bald. He's serious about his work but pretty easygoing otherwise. We spoke for about an hour and then I introduced someone to him. At the end of the meeting, I thanked him for his time and said, "I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving. I'll get out of your hair now." I'm mortified. He laughed and seemed genuine about it, but I'm still worried I offended him somehow. Any thoughts? You are one of us. An overthinker. This moment will plague you for the rest of your life, even though the person you said it to likely will never think about it again. I have a Rolodex in my brain of this kinda thing. Deep breath, it's all good. It was unintentionally funny and no one got hurt. If you feel you need to apologize, do it the next time you see them, but know that might be even weirder. Laugh. One time in college my assignment was to help a blind facility member edit a portion of a book she was writing. Somehow we got talking about dogs, and I blurted out, "My dog is old and runs into things, he's blind as a bat." I immediately died inside. Thankfully she made a joke about how my dog should get a seeing eye dog like she had, and I awkwardly laughed probably too hard and suggested we get back to the revisions. This is funny and he probably thought so too. As a bald guy the first can confidently say that you have nothing to worry about. Lol. Trust me, he's fine and this is nothing to wig out over. Next time say the same thing, but as you're leaving, turn around and say, "Your pubic hair," and then wink to seal the deal. What's the saying? Always leave them wanting more. The only thing you can do now is change your name and move to a different country. As a bald dude, I woulda laughed my ass off. 2 tears of joy. My father-in-law announced my miscarriage on Facebook. Sorry for any spelling and grammar errors, I am on my mobile and dyslexic. This story may be upsetting for some, so read with caution. This is my first time posting here and I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. As I stated in the title, I recently had a miscarriage. I started bleeding around my 10th week. I initially wasn't too worried as I had a similar issue around my 5th week and the ultrasound showed a healthy baby. However, the bleeding got heavier and I ended up in the EPAU. They examined me internally and assured me everything was fine. But it wasn't. At my 12-week scan, the first time my husband saw the baby, we were told it died around 9 weeks. The image on the screen will haunt us both forever. My mum was with us at the time and explained everything to my side of the family. I couldn't face them. My husband contacted his side. We made them promise not to put anything on Facebook. I spent all day trying to stay strong for my husband, but then it hit me. I'd been carrying my dead baby for weeks. I finally broke down. Later that night I noticed a Facebook notification on my phone. My Phil posted the whole thing on Facebook. By the time we noticed, it already had over 200 likes and a bunch of comments. I was devastated and angry. So very angry. This was our baby. My baby. Not his. Even if we wanted to announce it publicly, it should have been on our terms. In response, I locked down my Facebook and my husband refuses to look at his. He'd already had messages. I wanted to get the post removed, but it was too late. On top of all this, my Phil has severe mental health problems. Nobody will stand up to him, nobody wants to upset him. I'm not even sure if he'll ever be told what he did was wrong. I feel like nobody cares about my pain. The worst part is that I'm not sure if I can forgive him. He is a good and lovely person, but I can't bear to face him. All of my trust has been lost. I've already cancelled plans for Christmas. I'm scared that if I go I'll lose it and cause a family divide. We are burying our baby tomorrow. Only my parents will be with us. They and my sister have been a rock for both of us throughout this ordeal. We haven't even told his family the name. This has been one of the most painful experiences of my life, both physically and mentally. I still have weeks to go before my body recovers. So what is my question? I want to know if I'll ever be able to forgive him, ever be able to trust him again. I don't want our family to be broken, but right now I can't see past my pain. I would appreciate any advice. This is fucking disgusting. Time to go. No contact with Phil. So because he has mental health problems and nobody will stand up to him, you have to accept this behavior? Nope. Stop enabling him and stand up or cut him off and show him the consequences of his actions. Honestly, no one can tell you what you feel or how the future will turn out. I can say that I'm sorry and you have my condolences. If your mother-in-law is understanding, after you've taken some time I'd consider talking to her. Having mental problems doesn't mean he can't understand what he did is wrong. On a side note, perhaps you and your husband should consider therapy to help you get through this loss. It's traumatic, and that's what they're there to help with. Do you want to forgive him? He ignored a simple request from 2 grieving parents and made the moment about him. He put the spotlight on your pain for social media attention and likes. Fuck him. He doesn't deserve forgiveness. He doesn't deserve anything, and if there does come a time where the family is divided, he's the one that created it and he's the one to blame for it all. Quit worrying about the stability of his family. Lean on your husband for support. It's not up to you to roll over and accept this to maintain peace in the family. He should be shamed like the piece of trash he is. This is your hill to die on as far as I'm concerned. What he did was so hurtful and inappropriate, I don't think I could ever be near him again. Unless he is intellectually disabled, mental health problems are no excuse. I work in psychiatry and I can tell you that mental health issues may explain behavior but do not excuse it. This would be a relationship ender for me. I hope your husband is supporting you. Nobody wants to stand up to Phil or upset him. Well, given how much he's upset you, I'd say confront him, stand up to him and upset him all you like. What problems remove his responsibility for his actions. It's your Phil, so it's up to your husband to deal with this clearly and firmly. You deserve an apology. Your husband absolutely needs to take the lead on dealing with his father. But his mental health issues is not a good enough reason to sweep this under the rug. Your husband must find his spine and tell his dad to take the post down, now, too. Apologize to both of you for disrespecting your wishes and violating your privacy, and 3. Acknowledge that until both of these actions are taken, he will be excluded from your lives and receive no further information about your family. He's not a child. You do not need to use kid gloves. He is a grown man who knowingly and willingly disregarded your expressed wish to keep this information off of social media. If your husband refuses to stand up for you against his family, he is failing a key requirement of a strong marriage. I just want to say, I was just released from the hospital from losing our baby around the same time. The pain is absolutely unbearable. Grief stealers are disgusting and I am so sorry that happened to you. There are no words to make it better. No one can say whether or not you can forgive him. I have family who only contacted me to tell me while I was knee-deep in complications from losing our baby just to tell me about a memorial for a different family member. They are dead to me now. I will never forgive them. But that's a choice only you can make. I wish you so much peace on your healing journey and just know there is someone on the internet walking besides you going through the stages of grief with you. And I'm absolutely so sorry you have to go through it.